All right, we're live. Welcome in to another episode of Betting the Pitch. I am your host, the real _G Warner on Twitter. Feel free to throw comments wherever you watch us: StreamYard, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you got a question, throw it at me, and I am very happy to respond. Really excited for club soccer to come back as we're going down the stretch. Relegation, European places, all really big on the list of important things right now, and especially coming off a bizarre international break. Really hard to know kind of what you're going to see from a lot of these teams that have had players across the globe playing in important matches, some playing in matches that are unimportant. And of course, I forgot to update the episode number. This is episode 89. So thanks everyone for coming. Without further ado, we'll get started where the money always is, and that is the English Premier League. First match starts on Saturday. We have only a single match today, competitive European top 5 league match today in Germany, but we'll get to that later in the show. First is Liverpool hosting Watford, currently giving 2.25 goals. All lines coming from Bet Online. Recording this on April Fool's Day, April 1st in the U.S. So Liverpool on the title chase. Watford going to try to muck up everything, play as defensive as possible, and give as few opportunities to Liverpool as they can. I just don't know that I believe that Watford can score, and I think 3-0 is a very reasonable result for Liverpool at home at Anfield. So I just don't know that coming down the stretch, facing or backing teams that are clearly flawed, that are fighting relegation, is a scary spot because you also don't know who's pushing forward to score goals. Watford, I can't imagine will be. And 2.5 or 2.25 is a pretty big number, but I think I will let that one go. Brighton hosting Norwich. Currently Brighton a 1-goal favorite against Norwich, who can't score, though Brighton can't really score themselves. So I have some interest in Norwich there, I gotta say. From where I sit, Norwich certainly don't score goals. One of the worst teams, if not the worst team. We're coming back to the beginning of the season, we're expected to be relegated more than any other team in the Premier League. And it looks like they're going to do that. Brighton, on the other hand, had a really good stretch earlier in the season. A lot of late goals, a lot of stoppage time, equalizers or winners. And I just don't know that I believe that Graham Potter, with his high possession offense that gets oohs and ahs from all the British media, I just don't really think that is enough. As a 1-goal favorite, that's someone I want to go against, though Norwich certainly not the prom queen that I'd like to pick. I do think that Norwich might even climb to 1.25, and as this number gets higher and higher, the more interested I get in the Canaries. Burnley then hosting Manchester City, currently getting a goal in 3/4 at home. Big number, but especially considering how poorly Man City has been playing down the stretch. But it's go time for Man City. They've had their players all across Europe. Burnley probably hasn't had that much to worry about. So they are probably catching them at a little bit, certainly a travel advantage getting to play at home. I'm not sure that's a huge difference or big deal in England, but ultimately it matters a little bit in terms of their cohesion, and who knows what Manchester City is going to be able to start with Ruben Diaz likely still out after not playing in the World Cup playoff, though I think that was expected, but still shows that if he was healthy enough, I'm sure he'd be out there. And Man City's got all the pressure of trying to win this title. The problem for Burnley is that they're going to sit back and try to defend in their own box essentially for 90 minutes. And that's going to mean Man City is going to have all the possession, and they're really good at poking holes in defenses, unlike almost anybody, especially against set defenses. So I think if this number gets to 2, I'm a lot more interested in Burnley on that extra amount of insurance. Certainly big lopsided victories is very possible for Manchester City in this matchup. It's happened a lot. I specifically remember a cup game where that happened. But from where I sit, Burnley's the only way to go as an underdog player, and getting 2 would be of interest to me if it climbs to that number. So that seems to be kind of an important and certainly key number for soccer, a full goal, of course. But I've just noticed in a lot of these big European leagues that 2 doesn't stick around for a while. So if you're going to play it, you got to be convicted that the 2 is worth it, and I'm not there just yet. Chelsea then hosting Brentford in a West London derby. I'm not sure that matters too much to Chelsea, but might to Brentford. Anyway, Chelsea a 1.25 goal favorite at home. Big number considering what that offense looks like and with Champions League looming. But Brentford, Christian Eriksen was awesome in international break. We'll see what he can bring to the team, and I'm sure he's going to start if available in this matchup. Brentford have basically been a relegation side until a recent uptick in form after a good start to the season. I think they're going to try to make this as low scoring and keep this 0-0 as long as possible, which is something certainly to have interest in as an underdog of more than a goal for sure. I'm not sure that is something I feel comfortable enough with, I gotta say. But as this number looks like it's trending towards 1.5, my interest climbs in Brentford, though I do think there's a huge chasm between these two teams. Wolves then hosting Aston Villa, currently pick 'em with Aston Villa as having all the juice on the road. So this might climb to a quarter of a goal. And if it does, I'll be interested in Wolves. So when I made this line, I was expecting Wolves to be favored and to really like Aston Villa. Neither of these teams have an offense that is worth backing. But I do think as an underdog, especially at home, Wolves are a really tough team. They've outperformed their XG and their goals scored for sure to where they sit in the table. Though Aston Villa, they brought in and spent a lot of money, but I don't know that it's really clicked just yet. Steven Gerrard got off to a great start when he took over, but that hasn't really continued. And I think as a road favorite, that is a marketplace that is just too low on Wolves, as they have been really all season, though it's worked fairly well lately. And Raul Jimenez is suspended from his silly second yellow, which I think he's done twice this year. But still, I can't get down with Aston Villa being a quarter goal favorite on the road, so I will be looking to see if that number gets up there on Saturday. Leeds then hosting Southampton, playing a lot better ever since Jesse Marsch took over, but maybe because they're just not playing like a psychotic group like Bielsa was doing, which certainly got them to the league, but it has not worked in the Premier League. Anyway, Leeds a quarter goal favorite at home to Southampton, with all the juice on Southampton on the road, and this one looks like it might be trending towards pick'em. Southampton's the only way I want to go in this one, as I don't know that Leeds really deserve to be a favorite at all. They have not played well enough. Certainly the uptick has been good as of late, but that's been against inferior sides. They've been in some tough situations, not getting maybe what they deserved, but that also is a big problem. And I still have questions about where Leeds score. I think Southampton have similar problems scoring goals, but they seem to be pretty good, competitive against the higher echelon teams in this league, which I don't think Leeds is one of them. And I don't think Leeds deserves to be a favorite based on how they've played this whole season. So Southampton getting a quarter is where I lean currently. And last on Saturday, it looks like Manchester United hosting Leicester. Currently, Manchester United 1-goal favorite with all the juice. Leicester's been playing better, though it's hard not to, considering how poor they were in the standings compared to where they're expected. Basically, in previous seasons, always challenging for Champions League and being nowhere near it. They've done pretty well in the Conference League, where Manchester United is out of the Champions League, but that doesn't matter as much for this one, though. Both of these sides have had players playing in international friendlies or in World Cup qualifiers in Africa. I know Leicester has. So Leicester have, and certainly Elanga playing for Sweden off the bench for Manchester United. So a lot of movement in this one for sure. I think Manchester United giving a full goal is a big number for them to lay, even though the Leicester defense has been pretty poor. I think as they get Fofana and others back from injury, that'll be a huge boost to Leicester down the stretch, though not sure what they're playing for, maybe to keep their manager. I'm not sure if he's sticking around, Brendan Rodgers, though he's a good tactician and seems to know how to stymie some other teams. It hasn't worked so much this year, but they've been down to 4th and 5th choice defenders, so that's part of why. And I got to say, anytime Soyuncu's on the pitch, I always worry about a red card or some sort of bad thing to happen. Manchester United simply as a goal favorite at home is too large. It looks like it's trending up, if anything. So I'll be looking at backing Leicester on Saturday afternoon. Sunday, we have West Ham hosting Everton. Currently, West Ham a 3/4 goal favorite at home, which is a big number. All the juice on Everton. Maybe this falls to a half. Two teams that I want to be against, basically. I don't believe in the West Ham offense. So as a relatively large favorite at home, that sounds a little bit too much to me. But I don't believe in Everton. I don't think they're good. They've gotten some really crazy results lately to even hang around the relegation or safety places right above relegation. I don't know. I don't think they're good enough to back as an underdog here. The West Ham, I don't think, is a really deserving favorite of that type of size. Tottenham then hosting Newcastle. Currently, Tottenham a 1-goal favorite with all the juice. Probably climbing higher. I do think Tottenham handles their inferior sides in this league. Newcastle are one of those. So they've been playing better since the investment money finally hit from Saudi Arabia, though a lot of those players that they brought in haven't really been doing too much. It's kind of crazy what a collective emotion or buy-in, or I guess just spending some money and making players know that they are expendable meant something to them. So lean Newcastle over a goal, but I'm not sure that I want to play it because Harry Kane's been playing really well, and I don't know that Newcastle can really score. Tottenham definitely have mistakes in their back line. I'm just not sure there's enough from Newcastle. And moving to Monday, Crystal Palace, a half a goal underdog at home to Arsenal. Palace has had an awesome home field advantage this season. Their songs ring out. They play best at home, but I still think their goal scoring is very, very shady, not trustworthy, not something that I really believe in. Arsenal, I feel like we know will score, and only getting a half at home. I mean, at home, that means a lot. Home dogs are something that I'm trying to back a little bit more this year, especially now as the crowds are getting more full. I just don't know that Arsenal are going to. I don't think that Crystal Palace will keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. And so if Arsenal get one, they're more likely to get two. And can Crystal Palace score themselves? I'm not sure that they can, even though Arsenal's certainly got its flaws as well. More I talk about it, the more I'm interested in Crystal Palace. But I'm going to move on to La Liga. And that also starts on Saturday. We have Getafe hosting Mallorca. Currently, Getafe a quarter goal favorite with all the juice at home. Saying something for a Getafe team that doesn't really score the goals at all, besides Enes Unal, who didn't play as much for Turkey as I think he should have in the World Cup qualifying playoff. But that's a whole nother story. Mallorca have been flawed. Goal scoring has been a big problem for them. They brought in Muriqi on a loan deal from Lazio, and he was able to score in the first couple of matches, I think, but hasn't really done the same, hasn't done too much, and is really just a big body in the middle, which Getafe is playing 3 men at the back, and I think can kind of swallow that up. With that said, Getafe's goal scoring is questionable, and as this climbs to a half a goal favorite, I think I get more interested in Mallorca. Levante then hosting Villarreal in their fight to try to escape relegation. Levante a half a goal underdog at home with all the juice, which is pretty nice, I got to say. Two Valencian clubs, I believe. So maybe some bit of a rivalry here, but two teams going different directions. Levante just fighting to try to stay in the league or stay close to other relegation sides to try to find their way to 17th place, whereas Villarreal are fighting to try to get back towards their championship ways. They won the Europa League last year, got through in Champions League, knocked out Juve, and are playing really well and have a pretty deep side with a great manager. So I just don't know that I want to back them or go against them, even as a road favorite. Celta de Vigo then hosting Real Madrid. Currently Celta half a goal underdog at home. Tough spot because it's never really a thing for Celta de Vigo to keep Real Madrid from scoring. Doubt a clean sheet occurs, so then you got to be confident that Celta de Vigo will score. I think where I want to be against Real Madrid right now are against teams that are better than them, equal to them, or that really can show that they're going to keep Real Madrid from scoring. I'm not sure that Celta are that team. Will be a good crowd, even though it's a small venue. I just don't know that even getting a half of a goal at home is enough for me. Real Madrid always seems to take money until kickoff, so maybe this one climbs. But Celta Vigo, Iago Aspas is a huge part of their offense. If he's starting, it's always someone to look for as an underdog because they are talented. They can score goals. The biggest question to me is their defense and how they can try to keep Real Madrid from scoring. We'll see what Benzema's status is. If he's in there, that is a huge key to their offense actually performing. So I'll be interested in Celta Vigo if no Benzema is playing here at this half of a goal, but we'll see what happens when lineups come out on Saturday here in the U.S. Atletico Madrid then hosting Alaves, currently Atleti, a 1.25 goal favorite. Alaves are really hard to back. They're also fighting relegation. Atleti have been playing better, getting better results, though I'm not sure they've been really deserved. La Liga refs always seem to be on their side, which is surprising, but I guess when they won La Liga last year, that helped a lot. Alaves, I just don't know even what number I want to back them. Going on the road to Atleti, they're going to try to muck up the game and try to make it as hard on Atleti to score as possible. But once that first goal goes in, I feel very concerned about that second one. So I think 1.5 would be a minimum to me. Athletic Club then hosting Elche on Sunday, the first match. Athletic Club, a 1-goal favorite with all the juice, likely climbing to 1.25. And that gets to a point where I want to back Elche. I mean, Athletic Club, they're a great defensive, counterattacking side, and they're really good and team I love to back against the top of the league. But against the lower part, and this is, I think, why they struggle to qualify for European competitions is they don't score enough. Counterattacks aren't really the strategy that, and when they have the ball for more of the match, I feel like that limits their creativity. Raul Garcia in the middle, not as a clinical scorer on crosses. And unfortunately, I feel like Athletic Club is really just built to run against a defense that's overextended. Now, Elche are pretty safe in the league right now. I can't imagine they're going to be taking too many chances. So I like Elche, especially as this one climbs above a full goal. Certainly leaves me open for that backdoor in the stoppage time after 90 minutes. But we'll see. I think I'll check in around here. Real Betis then hosting Osasuna, currently half a goal favorite at home. All the juice on Osasuna on the road, which they've been playing better on the road, but ultimately I think that's because they've just been so bad at home. Tough to trust Osasuna's score. Real Betis have really struggled with a ton of fixtures. Maybe this international break at least got some guys off their feet, but they haven't really had their fully available squads, and that's really why their performances suffered. They've fallen out of a Champions League place now in La Liga, and trying to get back in there with Barcelona playing as well as they are, Atletico playing as well as they are, results-wise at least. Looks like Betis is probably going to be stuck in a Europa League position for next year. But they're better than Osasuna at home. We'll have a huge crowd behind them at the Benito Villamarin. If I remember correctly, I was there earlier this year in October, but you can tell this time at home is taking some years off of me. I can't remember everything. Granada then hosting Rayo Vallecano. Currently, Granada a pick'em with all the juice, and they're fighting relegation. Sacked their manager. Got I think a third manager is now in charge. Rayo Vallecano were great to start the year. We're beating all the bad teams at home, but it's been a fall from grace to say the least. Pick'em is a little bit respectful to me for Rayo Vallecano, considering how bad they've been on the road this year, and really no one really believed they were going to be a good team anyway, but had some good home results. Granada, I'm not really sure what's there for me to do here as a pick 'em though, because even if Rayo moved to an underdog, I don't think I want to back them. Valencia then hosting Cadiz. Currently, Valencia half a goal favorite at home. Cadiz playing better, but still are going to give up a lot of possession. Valencia have really improved thanks to a Copa del Rey run, which I think added some confidence they really needed. I don't know that half a goal is enough for me to back Cadiz on the road. I think I'm going to need +1 for pretty much anyone they're playing, unless they're a relegation candidate as well, because Cadiz are in that fight. Barcelona then hosting Sevilla, currently a 1-goal favorite with all the juice, which is a little higher than I made it, I got to say, especially as this trends towards 1.25. Barcelona has been playing really well. I mean, probably the highest of the highs coming off the Real Madrid victory. So Sevilla is not going to be able to capitalize on as much of a letdown because the 2-week international break certainly will I guess restore some motivation as Barcelona is fighting to get back in the title race, or at least stay in a Champions League position, which it looks like they're a pretty good tip to finish there. Sevilla have not been playing well, have been dealing with a ton of injuries, crashed out of the Europa League, which is disappointing as well, especially after taking a 1-0 lead in the first leg. And I think they're in a tough position where they haven't been scoring goals, and I'm not sure that they're all of a sudden going to fix that, where Barcelona's been humming. They're a pretty good, well-oiled machine right now. As this gets above 1 goal, I'm more and more interested, though. Sevilla, they play everyone competitive, no matter what league they're from or the top of the league. They're always in it. So I think as this number gets higher and higher, of course, I'm more and more interested in Sevilla. Though ultimately below 1, I was hoping it would be there, and I wouldn't be interested. But certainly Barcelona is always catching more money than they should. Next on the list is Real Sociedad hosting Espanyol. Currently, Sociedad a 3/4 goal favorite. This is on Monday with all the juice, and it looks like they're going to climb to a full goal of insurance, which makes me a little bit more interested in Espanyol, though they've been not very good. It's a battle of two teams that really can't score. Real Sociedad, though, giving a full goal is asking a lot more than Espanyol to hang in this one, though they're on the road. I think from where I sit, I'm more interested in Espanyol, of course, as the underdog, but not fully interested until it hits 1. So that's Spain. We'll move next to Serie A in Italy, also starting on Saturday. Spezia hosting Venezia. Spezia a 1/4 goal favorite with all the juice at home, which is saying something because Spezia haven't been very good. I mean, it's simple as that. I think from where I sit with Venezia, they haven't been playing well. It's been tough down the stretch. They've been losing a lot of bodies and losing a lot of matches and are in the relegation fight. And maybe that's why this line is kind of where it is, because Spezia are ahead of them in the table. But ultimately, Venezia have shown that they can play defense and they can kind of hang with anybody. Spezia are a team that likes to play on the front foot, that will push forward further than they should because they need to in order to score goals. It's worked fairly well for them this season, but Venezia, especially as this climbs to half of a goal where a draw wins a full bet, I think a draw suits Spezia just fine because that means that Venezia is not gaining on them. And that makes me even more interested in the underdog going on the road that's going to fight for a victory. Lazio then hosting Sassuolo. Currently, Lazio a 3-quarter goal favorite. Bigger than I expected because Sassuolo's been playing really well. They've been scoring a ton of goals, and Lazio, certainly that's not a problem for them either. But I think there'll be a lot of goals scored in this match. Total is 3, which is a little bit higher than you'd probably expect for Serie A matches, but ultimately that's the way I'd lean because I think there's a lot of goals in this matchup. Neither have a ton of interest in playing defense, which certainly limits my interest in Sassuolo as the 3-quarter goal underdog. It's 1, but I think I'm interested in the underdog and the over in this one, and we'll see if we can figure out a way to make that a get-rich-quick scheme on Saturday afternoon. Salernitana then hosting Torino in the nightcap on Saturday in Italy. Salernitana getting half of a goal at home. Big number for Torino to lay, considering they struggle to score goals. Some talk about the Torino manager, Juric, that it might not be a long-term engagement for him there. Got off to a great start, didn't get a lot of points, kind of same story with Verona last season. And I don't know if his strategy gets figured out or what. Salernitana, on the other hand, are bottom of the league, filled in a lot of filled in some holes with some older players that got cast off from their other sides, which means they're competitive, and they've had 2 weeks to sit around, really, because I don't think that they have a lot of guys playing international duty. Torino as a road favorite of half a goal is probably too big. Is Salernitana good enough to back? And that's the biggest question. Fiorentina then a 1-goal favorite at home on Sunday to Empoli. 2 teams that can score goals. I think defense is a little bit more questionable for Empoli, surely as a recently promoted, but they've been really competitive this year. Fiorentina giving a full goal. I mean, they've gotten a lot of respect ever since selling Vlahovic, which is it's crazy to me. But Piatek has been pretty good loan transfer, I think, from Hertha Berlin in Germany. But I got to say, giving a full goal is a little bit more than I was expecting. And so I'm interested in Empoli on the early kickoff on Sunday. Atalanta then hosting Napoli. Currently, Atalanta a 1/4 goal favorite. All the juice on Napoli on the road. Thought that Napoli might even be a favorite here based on how Atalanta has been progressing and how limited their lineups have been. Napoli certainly dealing with injuries at all times, it seems, and have a bunch of Italian nationals that were pretty disappointed in that performance, losing to North Macedonia in the first leg of the playoff for the World Cup spot. But I think from where I sit, Atalanta are a favorite that I don't really believe in. They've sold off too many pieces, have dealt with so many injuries, getting healthier certainly as the season goes on, which is good. But I think Napoli have the goal scorers, the match winners, and that makes me interested in backing them getting a 1/4. Udinese then hosting Cagliari, getting half of a goal. Cagliari is on the road. Udinese, they really aren't the defensive side they've been in the past. Their goal scoring is better, but defense is limited. I don't know that Cagliari have the offense to really push the Udinese defense, which is probably why it makes sense this line's a half. Though all the juice in Udinese climbing to 3/4 of a goal makes me more and more interested in Cagliari because I think that they've played really well. They've made it tough on their opponents. They're fighting relegation, sure, but Udinese just doesn't have the defense that they used to, and that's a big problem when their offense still isn't that trustworthy, in my humble opinion. Sampdoria then hosting Roma, currently getting half of a goal at home. Roma can score goals. Sampdoria, I'm not sure they can, and I don't really want to back Samp, so I'm going to skip that one. Juve then hosting Inter Milan in the big derby match of this weekend. Juve pick them at home. Almost all the juice on Inter on the road, which is surprising based on how poorly Inter has been playing for months now. Juve as a home underdog would definitely be of interest to me. Not sure at Pick'em if that's enough, but getting a 1/4, can't imagine the line will get there. But if it does, they'll probably be on my card based on how they're struggling with injuries, but they've been playing a lot better since they've had a really good January transfer window, where Inter has certainly gone the opposite direction. Moving to Verona hosting Genoa. Currently, Verona a 3/4 goal favorite. All the juice on Genoa on the road, and I'm interested in them, but I'm not sure that I really believe in Genoa's offense. They've been really stymieing defensively, and that's been a big part of them trying to get it to safety to hang in the league again. They fight relegation every year, but they have a new manager every year or 5. They know what they're doing. But Verona can score, and that's a big problem for Genoa because keeping up in the scoreboard is going to be a big issue for them. And I don't know that their defense is good enough to hang. AC Milan, then the last one of the Serie A weekend, which I guess this extends to Monday. AC Milan, a 1 1/4 goal favorite at home to Bologna. Bologna have been playing better. Their manager, Mihailovic, I think has cancer returned, so that's a big deal, and maybe will spur on some motivation in this Bologna side. But I think his absence will be a big deal. on the touchline. He's really trying to get his guys to press forward, press high, and take some chances. That's scary against AC Milan, who will certainly do some of that themselves, but definitely have the goal scorers that Bologna do not. I think from where I sit, Bologna are of interest getting more than a goal, but might just leave it there then. Moving to Bundesliga. So Germany, the only match of Friday, April 1st, is Union Berlin hosting Cologne. Currently, Union a quarter goal favorite at home. I don't believe in that, I got to say. It's Union have basically been picked apart. All these other Bundesliga teams have been the vultures, basically buying their best players, and Union have been really struggling since that happened. They lost too much, and I don't believe that they deserve to be a favorite, especially considering Cologne. They're going to push forward. They're going to probably have more possession in this matchup. And Union certainly is a good counterattacking side, and they're great on set pieces, but I like Cologne getting a quarter, and I will be playing that shortly if I haven't already. Or the announcement will come out shortly on Twitter. Arminia Bielefeld on Saturday hosting Stuttgart, getting a quarter of a goal at home. Bielefeld can't score. Stuttgart have had real trouble scoring, but that's because they're so many injuries. They've depleted their roster significantly. I think from where I sit with Arminia Bielefeld, I've liked backing them a lot. They've been good to me, but don't score, and that's a big problem. I think getting a quarter at home, though, is a number that I like, considering Stuttgart's problems. Stuttgart has done a little bit better scoring goals lately, but I don't know that they deserve to be a road favorite. I think that's really all about Armenia not being able to score. And this is a big relegation fight. So I think there's going to be a lot of nerves in this one. Maybe that might value or add some value to the road team a little bit, but that home crowd is going to really be important for Bielefeld. So getting a quarter at home is very interesting to me. Bayer Leverkusen then hosting Hertha Berlin, giving a goal and a half right now. The juice is insane. So probably 1.25 is more fair to talk to. Hertha just aren't competitive enough. They've been playing a little bit better lately, a little bit more feisty, but still don't trust them, especially against a team like Leverkusen, who can score a bunch of goals even without their strikers who've been injured for what seems like a month now. Eintracht Frankfurt then hosting Greater Fürth, giving a goal and a quarter, and I just don't think Fürth is capable to compete in this league, so I'll skip them. Freiburg at home, getting a goal and a half from Bayern München. Bayern have been off the pace. They haven't been playing as well, but they're still in the lead. Freiburg, their offense has not been great, and this is going to be a tough matchup for them. They played really, really competitively in Munich the first time, escaped with a cover, but a loss nonetheless, thanks to a late goal from Yannick Haber, which is pretty surprising because he doesn't do a lot. Lewandowski wasn't doing much for Poland in the playoff match. They ended up winning at the World Cup, which the draw on that is coming out very shortly. Might do some content on that maybe next week or something like that. Anyway, Freiburg getting a goal and a half at home in front of a big crowd is certainly meaningful. I do have some questions about what they're going to be able to produce offensively against Bayern, which is the biggest issue because Bayern's going to score. You know that. So that's probably one I should probably avoid. Hoffenheim then hosting Bochum. Currently, Hoffenheim a 1-goal favorite with all the juice at home. Bochum, certainly different team on the road, and Hoffenheim score a ton of goals at home. But ultimately, that number, getting that full goal of insurance, is of interest to me because I do think Bochum can really frustrate a lot of sides. My biggest question, though, is if this gets above 1, because I guess it's nice to have the full goal of insurance, but I'm feeling a little greedy as we speak because Hoffenheim are a really tough team to go against when they're in their home venue. Borussia Dortmund then hosting Leipzig, currently a pick'em with all the juice on Dortmund. I think that's due to Haaland's injury, walking off the pitch right after scoring a goal in international play. I don't know what his status is. Certainly we'll check on that one, and that will probably swing the line quite a bit if he's in the lineup. Though I think Leipzig have been a better side than Dortmund, though somehow Dortmund are closer challengers to Bayern. I think that's basically based off the struggles that RB Leipzig had at the beginning of the year under Jesse March. It's been a big kind of chasm, though, in this matchup where Dortmund's been a lot better than Leipzig, though I think Leipzig did win that first leg this year, reverse fixture. So I'm interested in Leipzig as a road underdog, though the crowd will be probably pretty intense, and we'll see about Haaland's status. Moving to Sunday, Augsburg hosting Wolfsburg. Currently, Augsburg a pick'em at home. All the juice on Wolfsburg on the road. It's been kind of flowing back between a quarter and pick'em. I'm interested in the home dog in Augsburg if they get that quarter. I don't believe in Wolfsburg. I don't think that they're really strong. I don't believe that they deserve to be a road favorite, though Augsburg's been certainly struggling for a while now. And Ricardo Pepi just never seems like he's going to play. Last but not least, in Germany on Sunday, Borussia Mönchengladbach, a quarter goal favorite at home to Mainz. Gladbach has had so many problems. They're losing a lot of players because their contracts are up. They didn't do a really good job managing anything. Their sporting director quit because he said this was like he couldn't give his full whatever to Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is sad for Dief Holland because they're a pretty traditional team that were fighting relegation very recently. Mainz, though, are the model of stability after really starting last year at the bottom with Schalke. Crazy turnaround, been playing so well ever really since their new manager took over, and he's been Wolf Svensson, and he's been sticking around for a while. So I'm interested in Mainz bringing a toughness that I don't think Gladbach really have right now. And last but not least, we're going to go to France for Ligue. Starting on Saturday, we have Nice hosting Rennes, currently getting a quarter of a goal at home. Rennes are a really good side, and I was looking to potentially back them as an underdog, but I'm not sure I believe in them being a road favorite here. Nice has had some struggles of late, but ultimately I think they're the better side at home. So I'll be looking and expect them to be favored. So I'll be looking at them on Saturday morning. Lille hosting Bordeaux, currently Lille a 1-goal favorite with all the juice. Way shorter than I made this number. Bordeaux's defense has been so bad, hard to trust them really at all. Saint Etienne then hosting Marseille, quarter of a goal underdog at home with all the juice on the road Marseille side. I'm interested in Saint Etienne, especially if this climbs to a half. I've been liking the idea of going against Marseille. Haven't really executed as well as I've kind of hoped, but I just don't think that Marseille is really good enough to command the lines that they get and the respect that they get. Though Arkadiusz Milik has been awesome for them ever since he's been starting. If Sampaoli will actually put him in. Moving to Sunday, Strasbourg hosting Lens. Currently Strasbourg a quarter goal favorite with all the juice at home, likely ticking towards a half. Strasbourg are good and score goals. Lens are going to be on the front foot trying to score. Even at a half, though, I'm not sure that's enough because Strasbourg have kind of proven that they can compete with the top of the league and are better than Lens, I think. Montpellier then hosting Brest, currently a quarter goal favorite at home. Which is a little short, but they've been getting short lines for a while. All the juice on Montpellier, maybe this climbs to a half. And a half, I think I'm more interested in Brest, though I do believe Montpellier can score goals, and I'm not sure that Brest can really do that. Metz then hosting Monaco, currently a 1-goal underdog at home. Metz have been really poor and are probably going to get relegated this year. They've sold off too many pieces. Monaco has been really disappointing, but 1-goal favor on the road, certainly lean to the home team, but I'm not sure that there's enough there for me to want to go against Monaco, who've been a little bit better as of late, but ultimately our team I still want to fade as we go down the stretch. Troyes then hosting Reims, French pronunciation sometimes get to me. Troyes a pick 'em right now with all the juice, though. This one climbs to a quarter, then Reims will be on my card. They're pretty much on my card every week. They're underpriced every week, it seems, and I think they're going to make they could go and win this match just as likely to win, in my opinion, as Troyes. Clermont then hosting Nantes, currently a pick 'em at home with all the juice. Maybe this climbs to a quarter. At a quarter, I think I'm interested in Nantes because they've been really resilient this year after fighting through the relegation playoff. They've been better, I think, than Clermont have, and I'm interested in backing them, especially as they're a more traditional side. Where Clermont are fighting relegation, there's some extra pressure that goes on them, especially if they move to a favorite. Lyon then hosting Angers, currently Lyon a 1.25 goal favorite. Angers, I still don't believe are anywhere near competing. If they hang in the league, good for them, but they're certainly relegation fodder for next year. Lyon can score, Angers can't. Angers can't defend either. The really talented front line of Angers, which is very young, doesn't really seem to show up for a while. So I'm interested in nothing in this one because I'm not laying more than a goal. PSG then hosting Lorient on the nightcap on Sunday. PSG a 2-goal favorite with all the juice. So maybe climbing a 2.25 or 2.5 by the time this kicks off. Lorient just haven't been competitive enough, I don't think, in this league this year for me to want to back them. And that will wrap up this episode, 33 minutes. Thanks for coming in. _G Warner on Twitter. Feel free to hit me wherever you watch the StreamYard, YouTube, or on Instagram. Thanks for coming. Talk to you soon.